West, y'all.
And he loves it, so I wouldn't want to bring someone on.
Exactly.
Nah. But then I did have lists, and I thought we're still on stories, Pacifica perspective.
Yeah.
Who would be great in that? And I just knew straight away. I was like, I either got to go after a few other names.
Yeah.
But you were always on that list. It was like it was just a matter of when was the right time,
Yeah.
So when it came
in
about,
God's time,
bro, exactly.
Like anything,
I just thought, man, but it's just unreal, bro. To me, it's like unreal, and because I'm always learning something new with all the guests, and just blessed, man, to just be able to sit next to the host and just hear everyone's take on what's what, and what's life, and but I appreciate you making the time for us also. No. It's a privilege to have you,
Right. Honestly, I'm blessed to, and like it says, I'm a rock to these things. To be honest, I don't do a lot of public speaking or things of that nature, which is quite ironic. But, I just felt in my heart, bro. When you reached out to me, I just felt in my heart, bro. Yeah, the Uso, man, he's always given time to us, I know that you've always given time to us as well, bro? Oh, so, bro, most, for me to come here, bro, it's, I always preach it, brother, that the most precious thing, the most expensive thing that you could ever give someone is your time, my bro. That's something that you'll never ever get back. And, it's something that reigns true, to what I do in life as well, bro. Giving of one's time, you'll never get that time back. It's as simple as that, Cam.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, Charles, because, we're not getting younger, man. At this stage of our lives, especially, it's trying to get back all that time, because especially if you're like me, like work 9 to 5 every day. Have been working 9 to 5 since I was like finish school, like 22, 21, finishing university. Like that's a good 20 years of 9 to 5, and then I think when you have a family, start having a family, your kids start growing up and that, and then you just think, you just need that little bit more time,
But where have we learnt that from, bro? If I was to cast my mind back as well, and I think of my own parents, my mum and dad, they worked those hard hours, bro, but never once complained, Our amazing parents, the love that they have for us. My dad working night shift, my mum getting up in the morning and surviving all the way from Henderson Valley Road up to Swanson to work for Caxton, to work a 12-hour shift. You know what I mean? Then my dad coming home after night shift and looking after us and surviving us to school. Dad coming home, moi lolo ko inga, and then, he'd get up at 2:30 and come and collect us from school, walk up and get us, not in the car. Ko inga kama survivali aku. So, those are things that, and I feel when you talk like that, bro, I know that that's come from somewhere, and I know we've mirrored that. It's not something that's just put in it's something. Where have I learnt that from? My parents taught me those amazing values. Yeah.
But also, to me that reflects the changes of the times too.
Yes.
Because back in those days, it's you're right. Our parents did work those 9 to 5 jobs, and it's because they came from the islands, over here to find a better future for their kids, like us. Like we sort of. I was born here, and just born into it kind of thing. Like, we're not born in islands and that, but go there for holidays and that. But we will never truly know, or for me anyway, I will never truly know the life that my parents lived when they were my age, when I was like 12 years old or 15 or something, go to school over there, So, but then I think you're right. We sort of see what our parents, we see their hard work, and we do that. But then when I say times are changing, I'm talking about like internet and social media and what our own kids are doing. They talk about kids being not resilient these days, like always changing their minds, doing other things, like and then it's like there's more options now. You know what I mean? Like now there's more stuff in their face and social media. what's on TV, what's on their phones, and it's like you don't have to go to school anymore to be something. You know, there's more things out there, more opportunities that we probably didn't get when we were young. You know, when we were young, there's only one pathway. We're sort of one pathway. You go to school, go to university, get a good job, and do that, or finish school, be good at a trade, you know, stuff like that. But now there's a lot of things now, and I think people can pick and choose now, or if they try to figure it out. We never had that when we were young, or when I was young. You know, like growing up when I was young in the 90s, high school in the 90s, and that finishing school, and then you know, just I think the internet was just starting out, and that kind of stuff. But
life was simple.
Yeah, it feels
Life
simple.
was
eh?
simple. Life was simple then.
Yeah. I mean, the development of the internet, obviously, you know, back in those days, there wasn't that much temptation. I feel you're absolutely right, bro. But as with today, with the stuff they were seeing on social media and that, you know, and it influences our kids, in a major way, you know, and it can be a negative or a positive effect on our kids as well, you know, pending upon the track that they choose to go down.
But even so, I think it's pretty harder for us because we grew up in both worlds. We grew up before the internet, and then now we're growing up into the internet. We're sort of trying to figure it out as we go along. But our kids, they're born into it, so they don't have to figure it out because it's already there all the time. You know, they know what it's like to have no internet. You know, when there's a power cut and the Wi-Fi goes out, that's the first complaint in the household. Like, I can't use my phone anymore. Back in my day, phone was just for ringing up someone. That's it.
Yeah. No, I love that.
So where did you grow up? Like, you grew up out west?
I did grow up out west, brother. I'm a Henderson boy, born and bred, bro. So grew up, you know, schooled at local schools as well at Henderson South, Bruce Mac, and Henderson High School. Yeah, so definitely a West Auckland boy, brother.
And you play any local sport out west?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I played as you do, you know, play a bit of rugby. So I played a bit of rugby. I played at school there and got picked up by North Harbour and drafted across there and played a couple of seasons for Harbour, in and out of the Harbour A's and B's, and then got asked to come back to Auckland. So I came back to Auckland and played a bit of rep rugby out in Auckland as well. So
Did Henderson have a first 15 back then? Did they? Henderson had a first 15.
Yeah.
They don't have one anymore, eh?
No, which is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the rugby was pretty strong. Sorry, I mean, that was probably the first time. The whistle's looking at me funny. That's probably the first time that Henderson High School have ever beaten Custom Boys. We beat them back then 3-0. 3-0, so it was a sort of a historic moment for us. But I was a little bit horrified to find out that they no longer have a rugby game. So I think they've got league or I think, but the rugby's a wee bit. Yeah,
it is sad because that's the school everyone knows that Michael Jones came from, and to not for someone like that to go back and go to school and there's no rugby first 15 there. It's like, oh, that's a bit sad.
Because I've only heard that story through reading the thread on the Old Boys Forum. But what year was that?
So I think that would have been 89. 89 we beat Kelston 3-0.
In that team, can I ask, and I apologise if I'm reaching like with the ages, but did Dan Lafayette play in that team?
No, he'd probably be about 3 years older than me.
Okay.
Dan. So I think Dan played with Michael.
Oh, so that's
the
the
era.
Yeah.
That's it, exactly, bro.
Okay, so that's the era. So you were a few years after that.
Yeah. So he was in Ingalangi Clark. Everyone say, we were a bunch of sort of no-names back then, to be honest. So the only real star, so to speak, that we had in our team was, Ingalangi Clark.
Wow. That's cool, man.
Yeah, good old days.
Because I think there's an old boy on our forum, goes by the last name McGrill, and he came back to teach,
Oi.
and they started the thread. So when I was reading that, and then someone posted the photo of that first thing, I was like, oh, that's Michael Jones and that. But then, they said it wasn't that team, it was a few years later.
That's correct.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
But then knowing all the guys that coached club football from lovely Michael Jones's era,
Yes.
and there's a few of them because one of them ended up coming to Customs to teach.
Who was that, if you don't
Dan.
remember? Dan.
Yeah, so Dan came in,
That's right.
He trained me, but we had Sam Tutupo on talking about coaches.
Yes.
And then, Dan was one of the coaches that coached his second 15 team that he said, because we asked the question, like, if you can name a team that you were proud to be a part of, and what did they gain? And he said, being coached under Dan and Nige Hovum. He coaches the Hamilton boys first 15. So being coached under them and that team that we had that year.
Wow.
Which speaks volume of that first 15, the few years.
Yeah. I think Dan was in the same year as Michael, and who else would have been in there? I think a guy named Snake, and a lot of them were the Waitemata boys. To be honest, eventually a lot of them just eventuated and followed Michael and went up to play for Waitemata.
Yeah. So you didn't go to Waira? You ended up at
Te Aratu. Yeah. So myself, I was up there with Trevor Leota, Case Muse, and a few guys like that. So it was ironic how just sort of split, and we just went up there and followed Derek Jones, because Michael's brother was coaching us at that time.
That's amazing. And had they changed club names by that time?
No.
I
I think they had the name change.
Like early 90s or late 90s?
Late 90s, late 90s. They changed it over to Waitakere, and I think they've gone on from there. But they had some amazing players up there. They had Filippo Saina, To'o Vainga, playing for them, Selau Leanga. So, they had some... Leo Lafaili'i was coming through the ranks back then up at the Kalapu. So, they had a few handy boys. And Craig McGrath was up there too, old ice. Before he went down George Hara. Until they eventually, I think ice eventually went back to Waitemata to play back there. So, the good old days, eh? Honestly, the good old days, eh? That's... some of my best rugby memories, to be honest, at school, and it's something that I'll value for the rest of my life, eh?
So, when you're playing for school, like, what was that? Do you remember, what are some of your memories back then, like, playing in the comp?
Yeah, I think we played a lot of, because it was ironic, as soon as we beat Custom Boys, we were the curtain raiser at the All Blacks France game. 2 weeks later, playing against Auckland Grammar. We got kaping. Who does that, eh? Yeah, we got kaping at about 50 or 60 points to free.
But that's cool, you sharing that story about the first 15 Henderson High Custom, because Custom this year lost to Liston, and they hadn't been done for 38 years or something like that. Wow. 39 years.
I saw that, times have changed, eh?
So was it that's an international fixture, eh?
Yeah, it was an international fixture. Thanks for pointing that out, bro.
That's nice.
As well, they didn't televise those katlongas back in those days. But no, it was a great experience, just a bunch of West Auckland boys, and to play on the big stage, and seeing guys like Buck Shelford walk in front of you, coming out to the field, eh? It's just something that, you just never forget, eh?
What position were you playing?
So back then, I could play second five, centre, and first five, and fullback. So I played fullback on that day. Yeah, a lot lighter back in those days, eh?
You still like keep yourself in good nick, man.
Oh, I'm trying to, my friend, trying to.
Yeah, man, I couldn't. It's funny because on the podcast we've been always talking about how much of a decline rugby has been, in New Zealand. Like even with Super Rugby, like I don't think it's that exciting as it was before. Like, well, I think it all started when South Africa left.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'll tune in to watch the NRL. You know,
Yeah.
because it's more exciting. But it's a shame because I love the game. I'm a rugby union guy first, but I don't know. Like, I've just been, you know, this is the first year I've watched more NRL games than some rugby games. You know, and being a big Auckland Blues fan, you know, those are only games I've seen. You know, but I don't know about now after that final. I mean that semi-final, the final of last year, and now the semi is like, oh fuck, that was hard to watch, man.
Up the wires, huh?
But that's the thing, eh? Like,
Yeah.
I think up the wires, you're right, because you know when I see those fans, the Warriors fans, they're different, eh?
Yeah.
It's a different kind of thing when you see them, eh? And I think it speaks to how much the decline the game of rugby union has been, you know, especially with the fans.
Yeah, especially with I think the grassroots stuff, Letty, the
Yeah.
grassroots stuff, you know, I cast my mind back, you know, to when we were playing. Bro, without a word of a lie, you know, there'd be just millions of guys wanting to play football and playing club and that, you know. You'd go to senior games and the sidelines are just absolutely packed. You know what I mean? So, and then to hear now that a lot of our grassroots clubs now have suffered or merged because of numbers and that, and it just goes to show where it all starts from that grassroots stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and ever since that, once that it's no longer strong, you know, that just filters through, you know, to our top end stuff, eh? You know, we probably, hey, this is just my opinion, we wrap up too many of our young fellas in cotton wool and put them into these high performance squads and things like that, or jack them up to play, you know, hey, in the super team, but they have never cut their teeth properly in these lower grades, you know, and that's where you get the benefit. And look at our poor grassroots stuff, just suffering in such a horrendous way, you know, failing to, you know, they're struggling to get numbers. You know, our clubs, our club, Poro Waitakere, I've heard that they've defaulted on a couple of games, and that's their top side. It's unheard of.
Damn, true.
Yeah.
Just unheard of, eh? And it saddens me a wee bit, eh?
Yeah. I mean, because I've always said the bulk of the talent rugby-wise is always out here. I think if you take Manukau as an example, it's taken like a few Westies and Central guys to go out there, put their hand in the mix of like coaching and being able to draw a few players, but keep them out south. You know, because they will always have opportunities to go start somewhere like Eden or possibly at Grammatech. But look what it's done for the game. It's actually put another team to try and knock pennies off the top, you know. And it's a good thing. It's like you look at the top of the table now, it's Manukau's at the top, you know. Whereas Whiteout looks flash at the beginning, but then when people don't get their way, they start split the dummy and they stop showing up to training.
Yeah.
You know, and the game suffers like that as well. And like, yeah, you're right. Those home fixtures, all those junior teams, they want to see the top side play. So they'll come down with their families, support it, because they want to be, I want to have that jersey later on. But if you don't have a team to look up to, well, these juniors are just, you just got an empty club room on the weekend. That's
who's
what it
looking
is.
after those lower teams, you know?
Yeah.
They don't even speak of the Tipapa Mount Wellingtons anymore, eh?
Yeah.
So what are we just brushing them aside and just concentrating on the,
Yeah.
you know, our top fours, our top eights? It should
Which
never
is
be
wrong,
like
eh?
that. Yeah, it's really wrong. You know, it's the same in teaching. It's the same in life in general, eh?
Yeah.
Is that how we operate? We just look after that, you know? When our parents get older, we just brush them aside. It never works like that, eh?
No. But I agree with you with that, eh? If it's, because I've always said it on Empty Out the Club. It's like if it's weak at grassroots and where the schools can't filter that into the clubs, it's never gonna. And look at the game now; it's suffering. You know, it's already showing. There's more attraction into getting paid for it ever in league.
Well,
So the talent disappears. Or
I think league doesn't muck around too much with their rules. You know what I mean? As we've complicated thing with complicated things at the breakdown. You know what I mean? You know, we're trying to define a tackle and things like that. You know, the collision is the collision, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
From the shoulders, was it staring him down now?
Yeah.
It's a hard game to imagine, without the, you know. And like, just to hear all the guys, like I heard Ruben Wiki talk about changing his tackle technique after he got to the age of 30. He always had a swinging arm. Yeah, he adapted to it. Yeah, we got paid professionals who still don't know how to tackle around the legs. Still can't tackle, you know, and they're trying to learn. I was like, mate, you get paid to do that. It shouldn't be as hard as what you know. The rules never changed, but the bread and butter of the game hasn't changed at all, you know, about tackle tech.
You would see that through the rugby as well, You know, I was horrified. I think I went and watched a topside game. I forgot what the clubs were. And, mate, I thought I was watching under 16s or something like that. Just basic skills, Just the basic skills for Inga. They can't even comprehend that. They're too quick to go to the, you know what I mean, go to the fancy and that. And at the end of the day, it is just basics. You know, put that ball in front of our forwards. You know, plod the corners. You know, when was the last time you saw a clean break like the old days? You know, the Christian Cullen era. When was the last time we saw clean breaks? We were just, you know, and I don't know. That's probably just me getting old as well. You know, we're just smashing it up, doing the pods and that, The old days, We used to put it through their hands and there used to be that clean break, you know. So, I don't know.
Sounds like there's less opportunities now for kids to play rugby. Now, if the problem is the grassroots, then I think that the school should take away the rule where you can go play for club in the age group. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so when you're intermediate age, then there's no more club for your age, junior high school age.
Third, to what I understand now, I think when they're third form, that's it.
There's no...
Yeah, they keep it all of that and then they reintroduce the under 19s or under 20s.
Well, they pulled the open age restricted, and that's the hard part, because I think it's, if you go from third grade to, or is it fourth grade to third grade to 85s, because that's only like 5 kilos.
Yeah.
But man, you can go from playing like 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, you know, based on your weight. Keep playing full-on men who can make the weight. It's like, man, that's tough. And like, that's not for everyone, you know.
But I'm saying if you're going to an all boys school, right, and you're wanting to play rugby, you know what I mean? You can only fit 22 guys into a team. I'm saying, what happens to the rest of them?
Yeah.
Only 22 guys can play second 15 and first 15. So what happens to the rest of them? Do they sit around and valu there?
Yeah, pretty much,
Moli for their...
Then they're going to lose interest.
They lose interest, exactly that. They lose interest.
Because they can't go back and play for club.
Yeah, so why can't we cater to that? Why can't we look at something? Why can't we speak to the clubs? I mean, you know, if we're wanting to hold on to boys and that and girls, you know, with the football, you know, we have to try and find something to implement, you know what I mean, that can attract them and keep them in the game, be it rugby or league, you know what I mean, but only 22 guys can take the field.
I know why though, these schools don't want the kids to leave.
Exactly.
You know, they want, but I was listening to the radio the other day and they were talking about the same thing, and someone, he called in and was talking about how, you know, when you have kids, like they grow up and they want to play rugby, so they play for a club until they're third form. But they'll go to different schools. So they're not playing with their mates anymore. So you have to start new relationships, new team. And then, you know, that relationship with your old team when you're younger is lost. Unless they all go to the same school. But you know, they probably won't. But, you know. But it's that whole thing about growing up with your teammates. And like that. But, you know, you can if you want. But that's another option. But that option's just gone now.
Yeah.
You know.
It is, you know, and I understand the terminology that, you know, it is professional. I definitely understand that. And I definitely understand that they only focus on a certain tier, a certain caliber. I understand that. But, you know, I'd much rather have a team full of guys that are willing to give it a go than a team of talented guys that are individuals. Doesn't interest me,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doesn't interest me.
Yeah. that makes sense too, because then there's an incentive for someone to go on his own to try and make it.
Yeah, and it's always the case, you know, our high end, you might be speaking out of turn, but yeah, you always get the superstar that, hey, I don't train Tuesdays, but I'm sick for selection.
Everyone knows one of those rules. Yeah. Just ask Xavier's mate, he got injured on the game.
Okay, I'm no good to train Tuesdays and do the 800 metres, but Thursdays, I'll be there for selection, all right, boys? All right, guys?
For the captain's run, huh?
Yeah, I'll be there for the captain's run. All right, guys?
Yeah, I can hear. I've heard all the media talk about this, how the sport needs to have a rev up day of some sort. You know, and I always think, man, it's got to go back to the NZR. They're the ones that govern the sport in this country, but
Nice.
you know, they're the ones that like hold it back, sport back. You know, I know what I know their thing is the All Blacks. They got to protect the brand, All Black brand, but they're doing it in a way where it's putting the rest of the country down in terms of like the sports teams and that. You know, if everything goes, if all roads lead to the All Blacks, you know, everyone else at the start of the road is suffering. You know, because there's nothing coming back. You know.
Well said, bro.
You know, and you're right. Same as there's only 22 players or 44 players in those two teams at the high school. There's only 22 players in the All Blacks.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And what happens to the rest?
Yeah.
Where they go overseas because there's more money to be made overseas.
Yeah, and I understand that, but in terms of saying that they have opportunity, so if I don't make the cut for the ABs, you know, they'll end up making the big dollars anyway, going to Japan and the likes of that. But the young kids that are at school that don't make the cut, they don't have that opportunity, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is an opportunity, I don't know, for the schools to look at that. You know what I mean? Yeah, because like I said, you can see it in grassroots rugby as well. You'll be lucky if you see 20 or 30 people at the Kalunga, say. You know what I mean? Unless they're top four, you know, your likes of, Wairemera and so forth, and ponies, and, you know, they'll always have the crowds there, but go along to just a normal fixture and you'll see it. It's sad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's so sad, eh?
Because I don't think you can rely on just the name Wairemera or the jersey or the history anymore. You got to do something else now. We're past the point of, you know what I mean? We're past the point of just doing it because that's the club we identify with growing up. You know, it's the history of it. I think it's like, because it's not in front of our faces, you know? There's no marketing or there's nothing to say that that's our club or we should support it. You know, all I know about Wairemera is it's in the hood. And, you know, all my mates went there, you know, to play, and that's it. But there's nothing else, you know. There's nothing else, and I think I don't know, like, because when I think of Australia, how the NRL works, you know, NRL is just a company that looks after the competition, but the clubs look after their own selves. The clubs are sort of privatized. You know, they're members of the NRL, but they're not. The NRL doesn't have any say. What they do, it's up to them. So they've got incentive to bring up the culture in the town that they represent.
And it's the resources, eh? You know what I mean? And I understand that. You know, not all clubs have certain resources as well. Yeah. And that's stuff that we need to factor in as well. You know, for the likes of these lower clubs and things like that, you know, they're not going to have a certain amount of coaches, you know, that are committed to coaching all the time. So, you know, that in the mix plays a big part. It's the same with, in general, any general sport as well, eh? You know, from netball to whatever. You know what I mean? If we haven't got the volunteers and the coaches and that, you know, unfortunately the kids just end up suffering, eh? Just sad.
I think it has a lot to do with the times that we live in too. I mean, because it's a lot more expensive to live now. And, like, you know, mind you, our parents, like, there's too many things going on. And, you know, we get too fixated on, like, you know, just trying to get by that that suffers, you know, that we can't just put all the energy. I mean, a lot of people can't put the energy into being there for the kids' sport.
Well said.
That's reality, you know.
Well said, Liti.
And yeah, it's sad because we grew up in a time where a lot of things were simpler. There wasn't the internet. Just to hear it on radio was a big thing, you know. And now we're just seeing it. It's everywhere. It's on all your socials. It's on your TVs. It's in ads. And without knowing, that time has traveled so fast. Yet our minds are slowly adjusting to it. But that's something that we're blessed with because it's a memory now, you know. And as I said, that maybe what worked back then is not necessarily working now. The model will be a perfect, you know, fit, but you know, this is the times, the times we're on.
Yeah. Well,
Man, I was just thinking about back in the days when I remember before Sky TV, you know, everything was on TV1.
Oh,
The one with the sport, you know, you watch All Blacks games on there.
that was when before the remote, you mean?
is that when the TV used to appear at 11 o'clock at night or so?
Yeah, good man.
The Kiwi was going to Moi. Yeah, good old days, eh? Yeah, but I understand the change as well, eh? And you know, and I see it every day at work as well. You know, I've been now 20 years in the police, and I see that every day as well. Times are so hard. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of parents in that are struggling out there. A lot of our kids in that are suffering because of that as well. But I feel that we've got some amazing agencies and amazing people out there that are willing to put their hand up and help, you know. And you know, it's like anything. It's about people asking for the help as well. Sometimes, you know, sometimes they whakamā, you know, as well, to ask for that help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, my friend. You know, we know all about that, lads, you know. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. So, you know, whoever is out there and, you know, you're listening to us free palafus, you know, I really do encourage you, you know, if you are struggling, especially men, you know, I do a lot of mahi around mental health and that, and you know, with men around our age, you know, I really do encourage you to, you know, to ask for that help. You know, just reach out, you know, and ask your mate, you know. Be genuine when you ask someone, how are they? Leo ngā, how are you? And whakali, and then you, it hasn't really compared. Just sit there, how are you? So, you know, and then ask questions around that. That's, I think we're big on that, you know, not following up and asking genuine questions, you know. I'm asking you, you say, yeah, but, sorry, what can I do?
Yeah.
What can I do? It's as simple as that. You know, I share a story, sorry to ramble on here. I share a story, and it's something that sits in my heart about my dad. So every Sunday, whaikako kongai, once we finish church, I always used to see my dad, when we finish our kongai, I used to see my dad, he's a wali next door, and he'll go to one house, and then he'll come back, and then he'll also over the fence to another family in the front there. And I always wonder what my dad was doing. So anyway, one day I asked my mum, I said, what's dad doing? You know, umolokaku tōna. So what my dad does is my dad gathers that up, he splits it into two, and he goes over to this family, this Nguyen family in the front that he knew struggled every time, and he'd take whatever mea we had there, then he'd go over to the next family, there's another Samoan family in the front there. We didn't have much, you know, but my dad was a big believer. Even if we had one piece of bread, sai aku whalawanga, oilea, kako.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, those sort of memories sit deep in my heart as well. My dad he's a bloke of few words, unfortunately. But we all know in our heart that our parents love us dearly. Yeah. They don't say it. But you know, in my heart, you know, my dad, 81 years old now, loves us with all his heart. So those are the memories, you know, growing up our West School, Auckland, you know, that, yeah.
But those actions would they reflect the news, like just in your time. and just watch you give back to the community there.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you, bro.
And I feel like having you on and the timing around it is because you're 8 years now. He's 8 years in the car park doing what he's doing.
Thank you, bro.
And Cam said to me, you get 4 podcasts on, but you're in it for the long run. And it's been shown when people come in and talk about businesses, when you get past the 3rd year, you're pretty much an established business. So you sharing that, bro, that's rich because you are walking proof of your going and your parents.
Yeah, thank you,
because
brother.
People that give their time, and I know you know the value of time because watching your trips, and I always say the same thing. I don't follow many people on socials, but the ones who inspire me to, want to do things then like what you've done, like in your trip, because I know you work hard, but like we always try and talk about the balance of trying to provide their time for, the ones who need it, and then the ones who, I spend a lot of time with these guys. But can you share like how you divvy up your time? Because, bro, you're a busy person. Like sometimes I go, does this guy sleep? This guy's still commenting on stuff, sharing reels at like 11 in the morning, 11 at night.
Thank you, brother. Hey, like I says, I give glory to God. Like I says, in everything I do, I truly honour Him. Nothing is possible without Him, and I see it in my walk as well. From when I first joined the police, way back then, God has always been with me, and even now, I talk about time as well, for those that don't know, I do run a community gym down in Henderson called Rampage Community Hub. So we've been going for a number of years. The testimony behind it was we used to do a bit of boxing back in West Wave Pool. So we used to do. So what's happened there is that they've got a gym that never gets used. So and there was about 8 of us there, and then officially to the Palangi guy said, "Hey, no one uses the thing, can I use it?" And he goes, yeah, help yourself, you and your mates. So anyway, we started boxing. We started doing boxing on Tuesday and Thursday. Little that I knew that they also ran a boxing class upstairs on the Tuesday and Thursday at the same time as when I was doing it. And what happened is that, short story is that they used to come to our boxing. They used to, So the guy put his head around the corner one day and saw there was about 40 of us doing boxing downstairs. And then...
but you are just using the gym, eh?
We were just using the gym.
Members of the gym using the gym.
And people, I'm one of those guys that never say no. So people walking past and seeing us doing the boxing every Tuesday and Thursday, and they say, "Hey, can we come?" And I just thought, because they're members of the gym, I said, "Yeah, come down and join us." And then little did I know that the class upstairs, there was only about 2 people showing up to the class upstairs because they were all coming down to this guy who's got no certificate in boxing.
But that just happened organically. It's just just something you guys were just doing, and then it turned out to be how many people down there? 40 people.
Yeah, ironically, then I won't say his name. Then the Palangi guy came to me one day and said, "Hey, you guys can't use the gym anymore." I says, "Oh, why's that also?" And then the man goes, "Oh yeah, the manager said, we got stuff that we're going to try and do in there." But, hey, what it is that obviously we were doing this down there and they didn't like it, so they kicked us out. And then as I was driving home, I said, "Lord, where can we do the boxing now, Lord?" So as I was driving home one morning, it was still, it was Pungisa a wee bit there. I looked over to the right-hand side as I was going past the West City Mall, and the mall leaves were on in the kapaka. So I rang up my mates and they said, "Dali, come down here Thursday and we'll do boxing here because the lights are on." So we went down there, started doing our boxing, and then the manager of the mall came out one morning at 5:20, and then he says, "What are you guys up to?" And I goes, "Hey buddy, we just 8 overweight islanders trying to get fit." And he goes, "Oh man, good on you." So from there he said, "Yes, can we help out in any way?" And I said, no, are we all right to use this place? And he goes, yeah. So from there we were able to use it. And then from there it grew as word of mouth got out. It grew from 8 and went up to I think it was about 60 or whatever it is, or 70 folks in the kāpaka. Let's even know. And then from there, the mall came up to me and goes, hey, how do you bring your stuff down? Because me and my poor wife used to get up at about 4:30, put the gear in 2 separate cars and then drive down to the mall. And then, so he said, hey, I want to provide you guys with a storage. So he provided us with a storage, which is probably 4 times the size of this place here, for free.
And what was that guy? Was he a security or something?
Oh, no, he was the centre manager.
Oh.
Yeah, centre manager.
So did he start work? Man, must be early.
Yeah, he comes in early, but the security are there 24 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, Charles, hey, also, for all the guys out here, we want to open up our shower facilities. If anyone wants to have a shower or anything like that, they can use our shower facilities and that. And those sort of stuff, I was blown away. You know what I mean? Off the back, he didn't need to do this. He just said, hey, use this. He saw the value in it. He saw the value in seeing the community at his front door, 70 people just coming to Kōlengi. And, from there, it just grew. He had a crew come down from Australia, to do a little documentary on us. And from there, they put that together. And that was pitched to all the Westfield centres over in Australia. So it just grew off the back of that. And
this must be a while ago, huh?
Yes.
Because they're not Westfield anymore.
No, that's what I mean.
It was during Westfield time.
That's it. It was during the Westfield time. So, Darren was the centre manager there. He's moved to Newmarket, so we still touch base with him. Yeah. So, but hey, listen, in all honesty, that was all God. It really was, I truly believe it's about timing and it's about listening, listening to him upstairs as well and understanding and just being obedient. I love people. I love our Pacifica people. It's the same at a gym that we run now. We have families come and say, hey, we can only afford one membership. And I said, yeah, use that one membership for the whole family. It's not my business. It's not me. It's God's. So God brought these people. So, I don't want to stand before the man upstairs and he say, hey, what did you do with this family that I sent to you? Oh, I turned them away because they didn't have enough money.
Man, I have to mention, because I ran about that time too. I just walked into the doctors, and that's why I believe in the timing thing. And the doctor said to me, you need to lose weight, man. And I was like, oh, yeah. And he goes, because I went in for the flu, he goes, you need to lose weight. And he goes, do you want to die? I had one of my best friends went to the doctor. Doctor said the same thing. Do you want to die? So we just started training, and we just, at the time, we're just meeting up once every fortnight to once a week. It's almost every day. And it wasn't until Ave said, because we were training, the FT was training, we had about 20 guys, and he goes, one of Makalika's mates at school, her dad runs a boxer, and they train in the car park in Westfield. Apparently the manager of the building said if they can get more than 70 plus people there, they'll chuck some funding at them. So we just put our SOS out, like, let's go join the party, man. Because I thought at the time, what a brilliant concept. What's the cost? It was nothing. It was just your own time. And to hear that you were just doing it on the back of love and being moved out from Blinky, moved out from the gym. I thought to myself, how heartless. How heartless. But for the thing to be unfolded like that and to see where it grew, because I remember having that just that one word with you after a training. I showed up after maybe a couple of months, and he said, it'll be our first year, but I don't know where it's gonna take us, but I have faith. 8 years later, 8 man, and it was like, bro, that's massive. Like, to me, that's someone said that it couldn't happen. Oh man, it stood the test of time, because I'm gonna be at the class tomorrow. I don't know that much, but it's like, to me it resonates, because it's like, man, you were just having fun. It was just having fun, and maybe we can touch base.
Yeah.
Because I know how those box fits can turn afterwards. The coffee club going on. Are you going to work today, mate?
Yeah.
What a brilliant execution, and just the way it's unfolded too, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm still following hard out every
Thank you,
time
bro.
you guys post.
And it's good. I mean, we do a lot of initiatives with the kids. So we focus on their fitness aspect of it, but we also look at the mentoring side as well. So we do a lot of stuff around that as well. It comes hand in hand, A lot of our kids don't even know how to get a bank card, how to get a license. You know what I mean? They're mad to try and find out. And some of them are almost lazy as well, because they've been brought up in a way too that everything is handed to them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I say, man, I ain't setting the license for you. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can lead that to the water, eh? It's either going to drink or drown, one of the two. But, I love people. I love youth. You know what I mean? That's where it is for me. I do tons of work with that. And to me, the most special thing that I love doing is working with elderly folks. And this is my opinion, is that I think we've brushed our old people aside. That's my opinion. I really do. We are far too focused on these young fellas, these young kids. What is wrong? Studies show that they're not fully developed until 23, 24. What about our old people that brought us up who sit idle in the corner? When was the last time we ever heard of them putting some sort of initiative together for our old people? Everything is about youth, ram raids. Everything's about this, youth. Youth. When was it that you ever heard something about to do with our elderly folks who sit idle, who go into the mall and just sit there by themselves? I challenge anyone out there, let's get together. Let's do something, we're just in the interim as well of just doing some stuff, just down at the mall, about providing a space for our old people to come in and even if it's just to play cards or something like that for an hour or just to kalango the way we are. Provide a space for them. They don't ask for much. They're not asking for the 3-course meal, but I think we're clever fellas that can figure it out how we can provide for our old people. These are the people that brought us up. So why is it that we have brushed them aside all of a sudden and focusing on, hey, it's good to focus on youth, don't get me wrong, but when it's overdone and overanalyzed and yet they sit idle in the corner. Who has checked up on them?
Yeah.
Who has rung them up? Wā mai oiti nā. When was the last time? Don't come and cry at the funeral. My dad told me, leo ngā o mai kangi, leoki. I'm alive now, go and see them.
Zip, bro. I agree with you tenfold on that.
I'm alive, come and see me now. You say all this technology and you can't use that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm 52 years old now, but my mum still makes a ipo for me. Yeah, Charles, wa manga whailau sapa sui, au mala loku sawa wakulo. Right? This guy's laughing. How can I fault my mum at 85 still doing a para chop sui for her 52-year-old son?
Yeah. And you're absolutely right, man. Our parents are always our parents, like, as much as I've fallen outside with my older brothers over stuff, my mum still pui her baby, because that's her son, And, man, I believe, like I fell into barbering knowing the blessings that came out of sharing and talking and having that space, because I always thought, man, when I'm old enough, man, my old man can come pull the dominoes out and smash someone at dominoes or, a sweepy or something like that, And I always love the fact that if my dad did show up, I'd have $50 for him and he might just sweep the floor once, but he'll be content with his TAB money, But like, yeah, you're right, man. Like, I feel like the youth today need to see what we have been taught from our elders. And until they can respect that, that's the cycle that can never be duplicated, because, you know, we have that opportunity to do it. But it's whether us as parents in the current days now can teach our kids that, you know. But I feel, yeah, you're absolutely right, man. It's sad to say, like, our elders only get up to go local, and that's the one thing that they look forward to.
Yeah.
When both my parents are 18 now, but my daughter, she had that window where she felt like she doesn't have anyone to go and complain to about like her injuries or the whaiaongas, or, you know, because once they're gone, you know, and we can't have that. But I would love to talk in any initiative like that. You know, I hear of one of the usos going through dementia with his mum, and I was so drawn to it. I was like, "Us, if you need to, don't be too proud. If I can help, man, I would love to mind your old lady, man. But I've got 4 other minders that will be willing to jump. You know. I come out from Te to see the Lumakua at the takeaways. I go to see her for the mamoe. Because there's no one out west that does mamoe like her. I'm always asking the dad, how's mum? Always Nana, she in the back, she's knitting. And before I leave and I leave with my mamoe and my potatoes, I always say, bye Nana. Because she's been feeding me mamoe for the last 30 years, you know, and they've been out here 30 years. But you're right, man, it's like people need to value our elders.
Yeah. And those are stories that you will never ever get unless you sit with them. Those are stories that we have the opportunity now. You know, even, man, I tell you, this is what's quite funny. And, you know, me as a Samoan male as well, you know, my dad never used to say, I love you. If you know what I mean. You know, I would never ever hear that out of his mouth, you know. And I always used to look at the Palangi kids, you know, and, you know, they kiss their dad and their mum, you know what I mean, you know, I love you, you know, that sort of carry on. And I think, then I look at my koinga, but you know in your heart that they love you with all their might. But they're too, it's just not a thing that comes out naturally. And it's ironic, now that I'm at this age, I never used to kiss my dad. You know, so I remember as a young fella doing it, you know, but when I got to, I don't know, whenever you stop that, whoa, hey, easy, hey, buddy.
High school age, and
Hey,
just stop.
That's it, also. But even now, you know, when I go see my dad, you know, my dad gives me a kiss. 81-year-old man gives me a kiss on the cheek, you know, when I go. And I say, hey, you know, I never used to say, no, when I go, yeah, love you, Dad. Yeah. I love you too, son. You know? And it's breaking down those walls as well. It's taken however many years. But that stuff there's to value, the stories that my dad and my mum share. My mum shares amazing stories of a young girl growing up in Samoa, you know, in Vasingango and that, you know, right next to Eggies there. You know, man, my mum just shares some amazing stories. Once they're gone, you know, once they go home, the stories stop. The secret stops, eh?
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, it's like anything, eh, lads, you know, these kids need to know where they came from in order to know where they're going.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's as simple as that. Doesn't matter, Samoa, Tonga, whatever, Palangi, it doesn't matter to you. But understand first where I've come from, you know, before you will ever know where you're going.
Absolutely.
And that's I think that is the issue today. Whasingo mai.
I think talking to the elderly is important because, you know, things change, times change, environment changes, technology is changing the world, but the fundamental things still there all forever. And these fundamental things are in the Bible, and these fundamental things of life, the stories of life, like everyone says, you know, you need life skills. What, you know, the elderly's got the life skills. They don't need the devices. They don't need internet. You know, how to live life, to show people how to live life.
Yeah.
You know, they do it through living life.
Yeah.
And they've done it. They've got the experience. You know.
I love that, bro.
You know, when you start a new job, you're just new. You're fresh. You got no experience. But people, when you start your job, people got experience. Then there, you learn from them. our elderly, they've got the experience of life, you know, and when we talk to them, when they tell us the stories of their lives, like they're surviving those times, you know, but those the same survival things are still relevant now if you look deep. You know, it's still the same things. You take away, it's like an onion, no? You take away all the layers of what's changed in the world and social media and all that kind of stuff. No. It's right in the middle there. That's the fundamental things of how to live life.
Yeah.
You know.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they're taking their time out, to listen.
Yeah.
So important, you know. I think today this thing goes quicker than this thing. You know, it's about, you know, it's like anything. Just be still. And whaalongo mai. You know, these are the people who have already savali the journey before us. You know, stop and listen. Stop and listen. You know, to the young kids, I encourage you, stop and listen. Yeah. Take that time out. Put that device down. You know yourself, hey guys, you know, you go anywhere in Auckland and you see everyone, they're like this.
Yeah.
On the telephone.
Phone parties.
Hey, or is it swipe left, swipe right?
That's powerful, man. That young schedules, man. Because when my old man passed, the hour after that was the koinga next door, and he passed away last year. But man, it's just, you know, because if I'm not following people and what they're up to, like, because, you know, I only follow certain people. Like, to me, the people that do things with their families. Like, I love seeing posts about people and families, you know, and it's none of that for the likes stuff. That's just, you know, for the memories, because they use social media to store memories. But since the neighbor Rob passed away, you know, no one comes into the shop now and just tells me, like, you know, how life is and what it's like, or, you know, because it's like everything, like the stories are always about people, and their experiences, and that's what's missing, That's what's missing with the youth today. Their influences are just what, you know, they're just trending it because it's trending. They're watching something a trend, but something that's more valuable in life is the life story that someone can resonate with and feel like, man, the more of those that get out there and go and see, like, you know, our elders, man, shucks, it can be life changing, man. Because I've had $1 for every time my daughter told me a story that I don't know how many stories my old man's told her, but man, the ones that she can remember, I was like, man, I would have had a brand new car by now. But I find myself blessed and fortunate that, you know, Dad could tell her those stories. You know?
And those are memories that will sit in their heart forever.
Yeah.
Those are memories. So the fondest memory that I have of my mum's dad coming to New Zealand every year. So Grandpa would come to New Zealand every year. And then, because I grew up, I had 3 sisters. I was the only kama. So my koinga my grandpa would come over, and then every morning my mum would whairi puki, mele tausua koinga, and then I would go and take it to the room, to grandpa. And then my grandpa said, yeah, so lai yang whalalui, you know. Then I didn't know how to speak Samoan. So aunga whalalo. And then we would play this game. So the grandpa would say, okay, light, ole moli, you know, yeah, late, yeah, table, ole lau lau, you know. So just things like that, you know, that I would do, and they're fond memories that it's almost like it was yesterday that I took the ipukoko into the koinga. I can see it as clear as day, bro. You know what I mean? And those are the memories that I'm blessed to have, you know. Like I says, don't come and kangi at the funeral. Yeah, come and see me while I'm still alive. Make the effort. Make the effort. You know, it's, it's just, you know, the life is short, and at the moment it's too fast. Like, exactly like you said, you know, we need to put that phone down.
And it's the interaction too, well.
That's it.
That interaction you have with your grandfather back in the days, even if, man, see, I'm guilty of this, but, you know, I remember when uncles and aunties used to come over to come visit my parents. You know, you just stand in the background or play outside. You don't want to go.
Yeah.
You say hi and then you run away
Yeah.
as a kid.
That's
You know,
it. That's it.
but take time to, just hang out for a little bit. Like sit there and see what they say to you and talk or interact.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to take off because you'll miss those little moments that you'll probably cherish later on. Because there's heaps of times when I was a kid like doing that kind of stuff, and then when I go to the funerals, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. I never did anything.
Yeah, and that's it, eh? But that's just us as young kids, huh? That's just us as young kids. But as you get older, things start to click into place. Okay, so I had this opportunity, so I need to teach my kids the value of go and sit with Grandpa. My kids randomly just driving down to Nan and Pop's house, and saying hi and sitting with them. You know what I mean? Those are the memories. Those are where the blessings come from too. Those are where the blessings come from. I truly believe as well, gents.
That's that life rich, huh? That's that life rich there. Those sort of moments.
It's cool you brought up the elderly. Well, what you were saying, what you were concerned about. The focus. And I would believe you because of your work in the community, being a police officer, and you know what's out there. You can see, you know what the narrative is in regards to mental health, where it's focused. And then you, what you're saying is like, it's focused on young kids, but then we're sort of missing out this area of life, the elderly, like what's going on there, And I agree with you, man, because when I think about it, there hasn't been much out there in the media or on TV or what you see on social media or what they're trying to, when they push the focus on mental health, with the kids and suicide and all that kind of stuff. But it's sort of like something that's getting slipped through the gaps.
Yeah. And it's up to us to take the onus. It's up to us to do what we know is right, to do something that we know we can do. Don't sit back and rely on someone else to do it. It's not rocket science stuff to have a cup of tea with 2 or 3 old people. You know what I mean? And it's not rocket science when you're walking in the mall to see a koinga or olamako just sitting on those couches up there, to just stop and say, oi, hello, how are you? You know what I mean? What's stopping you from doing that? It's bizarre behaviour to me. Yeah, you wouldn't want it to happen to you, heaven forbid. As we get older, we want to know, that someone will stop and ask, are you okay, sir? Are you okay, madam? What's wrong with a smile, eh? Where's that all gone? Do we all have to be hard nuts, fellas, and put that tough mentality on, when we're out and about, when we're surveilling on the road? It's funny when I go to the gym, I see it at the gym too. I see a lot of the young fellas in there, when they're going from machine to machine, then we walk past you, But I'm funny because I'm the only guy that will stop in front of them and smile and say, hey, how are you? Yeah. And then, good, thanks. Have a good day, mate. Yeah. Where's that come from? Where's that come from? What does it achieve? Nothing. What's wrong with me saying, Silly, well, how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, who said that was weird to be approached like that, eh?
Yeah.
Maybe it's, I don't know, uncomfortability or, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a strange thing if someone randomly comes up to you, hi, how are you?
If you don't stop them in their tracks, the behaviour continues.
Yeah.
What's wrong with, Silly? Yeah.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
The memes videos that I see of that happening,
it's
like, well, that's how people do. Hey, they ask you what village where you from and do you know so and so. That's the follow-up questions they come with.
That's it. Oh man, yeah. But hey, it's a sign of the times as well. You know that, amen. But hey, at the end of the day, we just got to be strong as fathers, strong as male Pacificas, you know what I mean, men. and stand for what we believe in. You know, I truly believe play your part within your family. You know, I think a lot of folks try to clean up other people's backyard, but their backyard is surely is worse than theirs. So surely, how can you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we always talk about that on the podcast. We always talk about how, you know, it starts with yourself first. You know, look after yourself, because if you're sick, you can't even look after your own family. You know, and then look after your family, and then you can start looking after that people outside your family after that. Like prioritize. You know, where your heart goes. God, yourself, family.
Family always. I truly believe.
Community last. Yeah. If you got enough left.
Yeah, that's it. You know, hey, like I says, you're of no use if your cup is empty. What use are you if your cup is empty? Who's filling up your cup? You know what I mean?
100,
Get your way if your bots and you know what I mean?
That's good that people ongas when it's half full, when it's empty.
Yeah. You know, and you did right. You know, be careful of the wolf in sheep's clothing too. Be careful of the fellas that come. What is their intent as well, eh? Which is sad. Which saddens me, you know. But hey, nature.
You know, Charles, when you're talking about your memory of your dad going to next neighbors with the food, like, do you always? I'm just wondering, how did you? Because obviously you remember it today because you told the story. But what made you remember that? Like, what is it? Because I have those moments too. Like back in the day, there's certain memories burned to my brain that I can never forget. You know, and I don't know why.
Sure.
And when you ask someone in your family, remember that time, and no one remembers.
Yeah.
But for some reason you remember.
Yeah. It's funny you should say that, because I truly believe it's probably applicable to what we're talking about now. The reason why I see it, because I understand now why my dad done it. So I understand the full story now. E leo ngā, if I could only remember this, but I didn't understand. Is he feeding the dog or whatever it is? It's not. But I know he was giving it to family. I know that my dad had a heart for people. That's what I mean. My dad's a very staunch individual, doesn't say much. But those kind things, those kind actions, you know, softens him. Because I knew him as the Malusi guy growing up. So that's why I share those sort of stories. He's also a hard case individual. Permission to share this one story. I think you fellas will crack up. So one day, my mum prepared the mea ai, because you know how dad works sifipo. So my mum prepared the meatballs. And then my mum said to my sisters and that, well, mga whaiko mea ai. This is yours, this is yours, this is yours. The ones in the pot are for dad. And they say, oh yeah, sweet. So going, he came home from work, and my goinga went to into the pot, and there was nothing left. Right, you know you're gonna get the rumble in the jungle, eh? Then my dad said to me, Tili, oisa ilo me aile. I said, ko ilo, ere au. Then he turned to my three sisters, and then he goes, hey, oisa ilo me aile sa whai mum. And then they go, I don't know. And then, so I don't know where this came from, how this works out. Eh? There's no meaning to it. But anyway, so my dad lined us up. My older sister, my second older sister, me, and my younger one. Then he lined us up. Oisa aile me. And we still said, no, I don't know. My dad grabbed the cue. Back in those days, we had a pool table. So my koinga grabbed the cue like this, and we all called there. Oisa aile me ai. And then we still said no. Then my dad went like this. And I was the only one to move. And he goes, yeah, oila sa aile me ai. So my koinga pingied me. Yeah, it just seemed to go like that with that guys. And I was the only one that get you. Yeah, so he pinged me a few years later. Me, my younger sister, and then my younger sister Maxine said, hey, you remember that time when Dad gave you a hiding for eating the meat, eh? I said, yeah. And she goes, it was me.
Oh, gosh.
So those are the funny stories and memories that I have in my heart of my dad, you know, my mum and dad. And you guys, I'm sure you guys have got thousands that, you know, that you share. And it's funny because I shared that at his 80th birthday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And my koinga was sitting there and he was horrified when I told him it was mixing. And then I remember the scars. Yeah.
But because, you know, that makes so much sense. Because we were too young to understand now.
That's
like, Dad had just finished work. You know, the horror. Like, to me, that's a horror story at the house. If I get home and I was like, what's to eat? There's nothing. What? Someone's got to pay. Someone has to pay. Why there's nothing for me to eat?
But I don't know where his investigation came from. I don't know what sort of, you know...
I don't think X-Files was out at that time. They knew it was...
How you could swing the cues and this individual move. So, listen, buddy.
Guilty.
You're guilty. All right. All right. I'm going to sentence you right now to an uppercut and no teeth. Who does that? Oh. We love our parents, eh, fellas? Come on. We love our parents with all our heart, eh?
But that's the thing, yeah. When I was thinking about what you were talking about, like about your dad, and I was thinking, man, you're right, because it's more action than what they say. It's all about action rather than
100%
saying I love you. Like, you know,
yeah.
It's almost like they don't need to. I don't need to tell you I love you. You already know from my actions, you know. But we already know.
Yeah. And I think because we're in a culture when we were growing up where it was a mixture with palangi and that. And you've seen the actions of the palangi, you know, I love you, Dad, you know, and watching the commercials, and kiss, and then they tuck you into bed.
Read the book.
Read the book.
The lamp.
Yeah. And then, Johnny, this is beautiful, Mum. You know, and then you think to yourself, how come they just send me to bed and no one tucks me in?
Why am I in bed and the neighbours are still playing outside? It's only 6 o'clock. The news is just on. What?
Is that Coronation Street just playing?
So when we compare the palangis, you know, I had some when I was a kid, when I was in primary school, I remember having some mates, some white mates, and like just knowing what their culture was that I didn't understand. Like they get an allowance. What do you get? $1 for washing the dishes, you know? What kind of mom do I get allowance for? Get a slap.
Your family enjoy a pig's head. It's nasty.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah, and it's funny because I asked my mum one day, and she said, "Hey, yeah, malona kako mele o leskonga, kako la ye fafome sasa kako vaumo me fapenga, hey." So I said, "Oh yeah, hey, are we going to get paid for this?" Wrong move, buddy. Don't
Come again.
ever.
Oh, man.
All I heard was the sapelu drop. And Mum taking off the calavas. How kala? Yeah. Oh, my parents. Oh, our parents are amazing, eh, fellas?
So you guys were training at the car park. Like you guys got your own gym now inside, huh?
Yeah, that's correct.
So this is the second fit out though, eh? Second fit out.
Yeah. So, we had a gym sort of upstairs, but we sort of outgrew that. And now we've moved downstairs in the West City Mall to a bigger premises down there.
So talk about how that happened, because you guys got to the point where you had so many people just coming to the car park.
Yeah. So it's strange how God works, man. You know? So what had happened is the obviously the Westfield management there knew that we were looking for a space for ourselves. You know, obviously we didn't have a dime in our pocket or anything like that. So funny enough, when I asked Darren, Darren said, "Yeah, okay then." He wanted to provide, because there were some shops that were vacant, but they were far too small. They were, like those little dairy ones in the mall. It was just far too small, eh? Funny how God works, man. Anyway, there was a gym upstairs. It used to be the Contours gym, just
the
for
one in the corner, right?
the for fingers. Yeah, that's it. So what had happened is they went down there one day because the place hadn't opened for a week, and when they went inside, they had taken off.
Oh wow.
They just left.
Without signing the...
Yeah, well, I think they had. I think the lease. I don't know the full terminology behind there, but I think they had paid up to a certain amount, and then they went down there, and it was cuckoo. Could hear the crickets inside the gym. It was empty. They had taken off. Yeah, so he came up to us and said, "Hey, I've got a space upstairs. You can pay this much." He's able to do that. And, so we set it up as a non-charitable organisation. And he said, we just prayed. And then one day, some funding came through. And then, Rampage is where we, this is where we are now. Funny how God works, eh?
Mm-hmm.
It's, making the impossible possible, man.
I remember the grand opening, man, because I was blown away. Myself.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Because I felt, man, at the time, because I remember training, because like we tried as FT, because FT was like free training, family time, fun together, and the purpose was make the time to get going, and help, like show up for, like when Noni was doing 12 foot, he saw how FT rolled, he wanted that party, and then we said, nah, let's go. Charles and Ned got Rampage. Let's go help. Let's go show face.
Oh, thank you.
So
brothers.
it was the right thing to do. So when Butterbean was starting up, BBM was starting, we would go and show up for him, support and help where he could,
Good on you,
And so, man, when I heard, obviously, they got a spot. And I was like, we're in the mall. Yeah. And I sort of knew, it must be the consoles then. Because that's the only vacant building at the time.
Exactly
So
right.
to pull up and then to see the Rampage desk. And I was like, bro, that's what a story, man. Like from the car park, literally in the cold mornings. And then to see how he's already just set up. Like, man, what I loved about training in the car park was like all walks of life.
Yeah.
Man, it was amazing to see, like, bro, this is what FT should feel like, This is what it's about. All ages, all shapes, no judgment. Yeah. Just there to live, there to have the dinner I'm going to get a good fa'afo before I go to work. Yeah. And then I'll laugh about it, and I'll laugh about how I suffered, and then I can build on it. Because that's what me and my mates sort of felt at that time too, Because once the videos and the posts started dropping, everyone was like, where is this place? And like they're literally training in the car park.
Yeah.
So to go from the car park inside the mall, own space, literally a gym. That's a story, man. Like I thought,
it's God's testimony, that really is. Honestly, I can't emphasize how much God's been just a major influence on all of us. And it's funny because it is all walks of life. You know what I mean? I don't discourage anyone. I don't claim to be some amazing coach or anything like that. I think people know my style. I don't coach like normal people, unfortunately. My style is just making people welcome. Just, I always emphasize it before we start a session, just do what you can do. You know what I mean? So, and nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. We've continued that. We've continued. People come and go, and that's the nature of it.
Yeah.
People come and go. These are the folks that God have put before us to work with now. But yeah, you're right. I love, I've met some, amazing people, in my time down there, and God will continue to bring different people towards me, Hey, it's not by accident that we're here today. God has ordained this time for us three to be together. It's not by accident also that I've shown up at your front door. God ordains the time. This is his time. And it's funny because I'm trying to move house at the moment. So I've been busy as, and it's been on my heart, should I just ring Letty and just balafu and tell him that I'm sick or something like that? No, because he has given his time for me. So it's about that respect, If someone has given their time, the both of yous, to do this, to put their own family on hold. Show that respect, team. Show that respect, people. You know, that's all it takes. You know, you've put your time aside, the both of you, and I truly thank you. You know what I mean? So me, come here. Show that respect. You know, don't, you know, talk big games and then we're glad. You know what I mean? You know, without saying it out. You know what I mean? Let your yes be a yes and your no be a no.
Yeah.
You know, don't, you know, I was rushing around, you know, getting gear. My wife was getting, he got me, are we taking this to the storage? And then she goes, what time is your thing of literacy? You know, but then all of a sudden, we got it all done. God said, yeah, hallelujah. So, yeah, so honestly, thank you guys. I'm truly blessed to be in your house, my bro. You know what I mean? The both of you. And I know you guys are amazing men. You know, I just feel that in my heart, especially for you, bro. You know, I know you love people, brother. You know, it's not by accident that you're a barber. It's an opportunity to speak with people. It's not by accident that you have set this up to. You know in your heart the value of this. Having people come and be real. Don't come and bluff with me. Don't try and... You know, I hate people that don't hate is quite a strong word, but I hate folks that come up and try and give you their CV straight away. Yeah, hey mate, yeah, listen, I'm an accountant, I've done this. I'm also an engineer. I'm a draftsman with one of the top firms. And don't deliver your CV, my friend. People ask me, you know, what do you do for a job? Man, I tell them I'm a drug dealer, or I work as a storeman in Avondale. Because if I tell them that, hey, listen, I'm a blah, blah, blah sergeant in the police, they change all of a sudden, eh? Don't tell them that. Yeah. Hey, man, yeah, I just work in Avondale also. Then let their bond build.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that's funny how people are. They prejudge us, eh? You know? When I heard the word draftsman, sorry, it's top end, kamalea.
What's the truth?
Yeah. But you know what I mean, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny human nature. That's funny human nature, eh? You know? You tell folks, yeah, hey, listen, yeah, you know, I'm a policeman, I'm, you know, detective sergeant. Everyone wants to be your friend. But as soon as I say, Sully, you're a storeman. I'll catch you later, eh?
It's like when they ask you and you say, oh, have you seen that TV program? Have you seen that movie? Yeah, I'm the... Then they change it.
Yeah. They change, eh? Yeah, but just all I'm saying, guys, is just be real. Don't try and BS your way through it. It ain't going to happen. 3 of us got gold medal in BS, eh? So we can pick it up straight away. It's the same in the police, you know. You know, like I said, I've done many roles in the police, you know, intel, whatever it is. Man, I got the gold medal for BS. So if you try it on me, man, trust me, I'm going to take you away, take you apart. So, yeah, gift of the gave, eh?
More than 20 years also. That's a long time.
Yeah, God's been good. There's been some... It's a very trying job. Very trying job, also. But, you know, God's been good. And I always bring it back to the man upstairs, you know. One of the worst jobs that you can go to, and I think any cops who are listening, you know, will know as well, one of the worst jobs that you can go to is a sudden death. You know, be it a hanging, suicide or whatever it is. It's a very scary experience. You know, a lot of folks think that, you know, we call up the old undertaker and he comes and does all this. Yeah, the unfortunate about it is you will cut their body down. You will strip their body. You will cut the noose as well. So, yeah, you know, I've been to some pretty horrendous scenes in my time in the job, you know. You know, it is an awful thing, but I've always prayed for covering. When I go to jobs, you know, Lord, I'm going to the sudden death now. It's a Samoan family. You know, it's hard for us, you know, if to search a body that's deceased, you know, how very precious our people are, you know, and that's something that we have to do, be mindful of, you know, as well, when we do things like that. So I always ask for covering from God, when I go there, Lord, I allow you to speak for me, Father, so I can speak to the family and explain what's happened here. Because, man, it's just up in the air, you know, trying to take a body away from a Pacifica family or Māori family of that for a post-mortem can be a very trying task. So, you know, it's about being respectful as well. You know, I've been to some pretty gruesome scenes as well, car crashes and that, you know. So, yeah, the job is trying and the job is changing at the moment. You guys probably heard them, you know, hear it every night on TV, you know. A lot of our folks are carrying now, so firearms. So, yeah, it is a scary time, eh? But just to continue to love our families, keep our families safe the best we can, you know, that they will make good decisions. You know, so, you know, I pray for our kids. I really do, you know, it is hard for them, very hard for them. Like I says, so much temptation out there, eh, fellas? Social media, you know, they want everything now. Everything they want now, straight away, you know what I mean? They're not willing to work for it. Yeah, you know, they want this instantaneous body. You just add water and then kabam.
I see that brings us back to talking to our elderly, because these are the kind of stories that, you know, need to be told, like how you have to work for. It takes a while to get good at something. You know, without, you know, like you said, it's not like pouring water on it and automatically you can do it. You know, it's all the work that's done behind the scenes that no one sees. You know. And if you think about social media, you're only seeing the end result. You're not seeing, you probably do, but you know, it's just the end result kind of thing. But it's interesting you talk about the change in what you see at work, because when I think about what we learned from the media over the years, it's like I always think what they show on TV and what everyone's talking about, what's trending in the community when it comes to crime, and that. I think it's always there, but they just choose to put it on blast for everyone. But you know how you say it's changing now. It's like maybe it's not. Maybe it is changing. You know, it wasn't like that before in the community now. Yeah.
In terms of the media, you're absolutely right when you say that. You know, it is a bit of a shame, eh? You know, the media interpret that, you know, they don't want to hear about good things anymore. You know, they much rather hear about the little, oh, yeah, this one's in trouble and this and that. You know what I mean?
Because it doesn't sound.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly that, eh? You know?
Yeah, a lot of it is clickbait, eh? Like, the saddest thing that we've inherited and by default, and the name is being the murder capital of the country. Anything you refer, we're talking, I bet you was a killing.
South Auckland.
So just like the South Auckland card, you know? Anything that's got to do with something, or Pacifica, you get South Auckland, people are going to want to read it. And and it's, that's the sad part about hearing that, you know, on everyday television and news, more or less, you know?
Yeah.
And they say that too. They actually put South Auckland when it comes to
they
things happening out there.
You couldn't put like North Shore or Beach Haven.
Where's that?
Exactly.
But the Bahamas.
Or what last week? Albany?
Albany, where's that?
Albany.
It's like saying Titahi Bay and Newtown, Puro. It's like Wellington.
Bubblegum was stolen from Albany.
A large truck of bubblegum
was located. Yeah, it is sad, eh? But hey, that's the nature of it, guys, you know, eh? That's the nature of it, eh? You know, stay strong. Stay strong, you know. I encourage you guys, hey, stay strong. You know, be true. You know, bring our kids up best way we can. That's all you ask, man.
This is exactly it, eh? My mum always there. Like, I love that you've come down with us, because, man, I hold you on. I put you up there with one of the, like, because these guys are like 10 years or maybe a decade away from where you are in your age. And I feel like, man, if I could bring you on, and I felt like, man, because you got a story to tell. But because I follow you on your socials and I see how you distribute your time, and I see how you and your wife do stuff for like the kids, man. To me, that's like the way a couple should be. You know, invest in your kids. Go to these things, because when we're gone, God forbid we disappear next week. What have we installed in them? Eh? It's that time, and it's the time that you give. They've seen your tour to the community because you saw your old man to share it, That's the cycle that we continue.
Yeah.
But you want it to rub off on your kids.
Yeah.
Not to just accept stuff for the sake of work hard for it. Work hard for it because, all that sweat, the ipuki you have afterwards is a lot sweeter, because you've put in the work for it. But yeah, man, I put you up there on the list of like, man, I got so much love and respect for you.
Thank you, my bro.
Because, man, to be in a job and being, especially the job you hold, it's like, because I see you as, bro, you're, like, I know other cops, but then I hold you up there.
Thank you,
Because, like, there's a respect and love for you. Like, anything I know your hands in, part of, it's with good heart and a clean heart.
Thank you,
good
bro.
intent. And my ma's at councils.
It's very
So
kind.
I praise you like that, man. But just, yeah, like, I almost cried. The first thing you said off the bat was time. And that's one thing, like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I preach that all the time, man. You can't buy it,
Yeah.
We cannot buy it back.
Well said, Link. You just, bro, honestly, I preach it all the time. Seminars and that too, bro. That we run with the kids and that. I make them aware, it's about time. That's something you can never get back. So that's why, like I says, I just can't praise the both of you, and thank you enough for having me and allowing me to share my story. I think it's more sharing my testimony of what God has done in life. I love West Auckland, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I never leave this place. I never leave this place.
Even the things that we always say about people is like, whatever you do, don't ever change.
Yeah,
You can't change the color of your skin.
Yeah.
You shouldn't change your meals, but it's when you go, oh, where's he? In North Shore. Because the old wire still tastes the same.
Amen, brother. Amen, mate.
But you're exactly right, man. I love West Auckland too. Grew up, born and bred here.
Nice.
But and this is the reason for the podcast. It's a showcase West Auckland.
Awesome, guys.
Because when it comes to Pacific Islanders, everybody automatically looks to South Auckland straight away.
Yeah.
It's like the first place.
Yeah.
But there's there's Islanders in West Auckland too.
Oh, with amazing stories too, bro. You know what I mean? I'm sure you bros here have had a few folks come through the thing, but I guarantee you haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many amazing people that have grown up in West Auckland and still in West Auckland, and still doing good mahi with the community and that. The unsung heroes out there, man, I take my hat off to them, and all I say to them is, hey, thank you. Thank you for the giving of your time. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, the giving of your time, huh?
Man, thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure, guys. Hey, man, I just pray that God continue to bless you guys and your families. Bless your time here. Like I said, it's usually giving amazing time to voice our people. And thank you guys for keeping it real too. I was nervous. I have to be honest, nervous coming here, But God don't bring us three together for no reason, And continue to keep doing what you are doing, I love you guys' work,
Yeah, man.
You also.
I tell you, I get nervous. Still get nervous when we start every episode. But thank you, Charles, for coming and sharing your story, man. It's awesome.
Pleasure.
How do people find Rampage?
So we're on Facebook, Rampage Community Hub, and we also got a website up there. I use Masangi to Ken Toyoti. Does that ring a bell?
No.
Okay, so he's one of the usos that comes down to the hub. So he gives of his time by setting up our website and that.
Oh, yeah.
Like I says, we've got 7 trainers down there. We don't pay anyone. Even myself, we don't get paid. Everything that we get, we put back into the building. We put back into our people. Yeah, so I've got 8 amazing trainers down there that all give of their own time. You know what I mean? Myself and my wife, we don't get a cent out of this. I love doing this. You know what I mean? If you love something, you'll do it.
Yeah.
If you love this, you'll do it. It's not a burden. Yeah, they ask me, how do you find time at night? You go to work, you know what I mean? Also, you at work at 5:30, bro, and then you go at night and run the class. It's because I get the great opportunity to go to my classes with my wife and my kids. So we all do it together as a family. You know what I mean? I think if my kids and my wife didn't come with me, I think they might be a wee bit different. But we all go together as a family. It's amazing, you know? Sometimes they're not all there, but but yeah, we all go together as a family and do this as a family and give back to our people just the way you guys are doing it, eh? So, hey, thank you, brothers, for having me, eh?
No worries, also.
Bless those.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.